For director J.J. Abrams, it really is a very important task in order to end the Skywalker saga in a satisfying way for the majority of Star Wars fans around the world, in order for the film to be acceptable for a lot of fans in comparison to the very ending of Return of the Jedi. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that not only is this film now only 48 days away from the official release by Disney and Lucasfilm, but that we are also now in the month of November, which is going to be the month of heavy marketing by Disney and Lucasfilm. We are talking about TV spots, we got the 4th trailer coming our way, also known as the international trailer, and among other pieces of footage in the forms of clips that will appear on late night shows, etc. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the big plans by Disney and Lucasfilm, this is where things begin to get very exciting for the final scene of The Rise of Skywalker. Now, specifically, it's described that during the reshoots of the film, during the months of August, September, and October, is when many adjustments were made to the second and third acts of the film in order to reshape the story of the film by Disney and Lucasfilm. It's explained that the final scene of the movie is said to be very involved, that will change how fans view the originals and prequels, where it's explained that not only was the final scene directed by both George Lucas and J.J. Abrams, but that the final scene is said to honor the legacy of Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and even Anakin Skywalker in unique ways that will also have a large impact on the character of Rey. Now, it's also described that the final scene of the film will feature a revised track from the prequel trilogy era that will be combined with another revised track from the original trilogy that will honor a specific legacy character during the final frames of the film, and the environment at the end of the movie is said to be very nostalgic to the fans. Additionally, the last scene of the film will also tease of what Disney has in store for the new expanded universe in the forms of books, novels, and comics that will start in 2020, showing the events after the events of The Rise of Skywalker, where the ending of the film is also said to be based off of an abandoned Star Wars Legends concept by George Lucas. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, obviously, when we look at The Rise of Skywalker, the final scene is going to be very important to both, the audience and Disney and Lucasfilm as companies, because a lot of fans are going to compare it to the ending of Return of the Jedi, and just how legendary it really was. It really was a classic moment in the Star Wars Skywalker saga, where all of our heroes are grouped together on, of course, Endor, where you have the Force Ghost in the background, and now the final scene, the last scene for The Rise of Skywalker, is actually said to honor the characters of Luke Skywalker's legacy, Darth Vader's legacy, and even Anakin's as well, in unique ways that's going to change how we view the past 8 Star Wars films. So this really does raise a lot of questions as to why they would even explore Darth Vader's legacy at the very end of Episode 9. Exactly what does that really mean? I can understand Luke and Anakin, but I'm not quite sure about Vader's. That to me is a big mystery. Now, the other piece that I also want to go over that I think a lot of fans are going to really respect out of George Lucas is the fact that not only did he direct the last scene of Episode 9, but that the last scene is also going to have a lot of elements from Star Wars Legends, where there was an abandoned idea by George Lucas that was actually going to be explored for an expanded universe material that is now going to be a part of Episode 9. So that's another thing to look forward to, is the fact that they really are bringing in Star Wars Legends stories that were abandoned back in the 1990s and the early 2000s, and how that's going to make its way into the final scene of The Rise of Skywalker, let alone that the environment for the last scene of the movie is also described to be very nostalgic, indicating that we are going to a world that is either going to be based from the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy era. My bets are that we could very well be on the world of Endor or Tatooine at the very end of the film, at the very least, right? So, the thing about JJ, right? A lot of fans are very skeptical about JJ Abrams and whether or not he's going to be able to knock it out of the park and really make a satisfying ending that's going to be both ambiguous and, of course, contain a lot of closure, right? If you look at Return of the Jedi, looking at it in the past now, if you just look at it for what it is, it was a film that really ended with a lot of closure at the very end. There was really no ambiguity, you know. The Republic basically won. They destroyed the Empire, and that was that. But then they continued on with the Disney Star Wars era, where now, at this point in time, since they are leaving the Skywalker saga, you need the perfect kind of closure, where the ambiguity, right, that's going to be a part of the ending will be explored in the new expanded universe, which, by the way, ties directly into what we just talked about, of how the very ending of the movie is going to tease of what's to come for the new EU starting in 2020. So that's a big deal as well. The fact that it's going to tease exactly what the new EU is going to look like. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding on the one from night to moon.